So this week I was thinking about a phrase, and that phrase is I'm used to. As in, I'm used to warmer weather, I'm used to colder weather, I'm used to the old way, I'm used to driving slower, driving faster, etc. And what I was wondering about this sentence is, what's the verb? What's the verb in this sentence? I'm used to the old way. And I realized that the verb, it's just passive, but like grammatically passive. But if you read it, if you pronounce it a different way, you'll see it. So imagine you pronounce it not like I'm used to doing this, but I'm used to doing this, right? Then it becomes clear to me that this is victim language, right? I'm used, right? Like the way that we say I don't like being used by people, right? What's interesting is that it's kind of disguised when we say, well, I'm used to the old way, right? Now, why do I say that it's victim language? Well, if I think about any of the times where I would use that sort of a sentence, like, well, I'm used to the old way, or I'm used to slower traffic or something. It would, in any situation, I always imagine it being some sort of excuse, like, well, I'm used to, or I'm not used to playing hockey at this speed or something. You know what I mean? It always seems to be an excuse. And furthermore, when I say that sentence, I don't feel like taking action. I actually feel like a shrinking sensation, right? Like I'm used to, like if I were to say I'm not used to doing these videos, right? It's almost disempowering, right? So that's the point of this video, is that the language that we use supports a mental framework of either passivity or, I guess you could say, empowerment, right? Disempowerment or empowerment, passivity or active doing, right? So what would we say if we're going to get rid of this phrase, I'm used to the old way? What would we say instead? I guess we would say, well, what comes to mind is I would say something like, okay, well, who's doing the new way the best? And then let me do what they're doing. All right? But then what's interesting is that if that's the opposite phrase, that phrase immediately leads to taking action, right? Show me who's doing the new way correctly and doing it well, and then let me go do what they're doing, right? There's a lot of action involved in that. Whereas if I were to say, well, I'm used to the old way, it just leads to a feeling of like lethargy, and I don't know, try it on. Maybe I'm different from you, but try it on and see how you feel, right? And if it's the case, then it's time to start cleaning up our language. All right, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you share it, and remember to always put your existence first.